Okay, so you now have your good things that have come out of this. This is an incredibly important skill based on a poem, it's just a phrase, written by Vivian Green. And she said, life's not about waiting for the storm to pass, it's about learning to dance in the rain. One of the things that had brought on my closet moment was the idea that things were just going to get better. Life was going to get easier, and I was just going to magically adjust, and everything would be fine. Because I think we all think that our normal is this, that there is a normal. We tend to think that life is just flat like this, that you're happy, that things make sense, and then we think that sometimes you have these really hard mountains you have to climb, and then sometimes you go through these really low places, but that generally you're just going to level off. We all think that once we get through this next hard time, things are just going to get normal. They lied to you. In case you're wondering, they lied to you. Life is actually learning how to handle this and learning how to handle this with grace. And learning how to, you will always probably struggle a little bit because life wouldn't really help you grow all that much if you didn't. So just because you learn to handle this with grace doesn't mean that things magically get better. But if you learn how to see life with rose-colored glasses, or at least learn how to be grateful for the life that you have, then these things and these things don't look quite so much like that. These things and those things kind of look more like, oh hey, it's a learning moment. Hey look, I'm figuring out something new and putting it to the test. Learning, testing, learning. Did you guys know that in order to kind of level up to the next level of understanding, that you have to first go through something that helps teach you a principle, and then you go through something that allows you to apply the principle. If you have applied it well, then you get to learn the next thing. If you never fully take the opportunity when the opportunity arises to learn something, then you just get to keep learning the exact same thing over and over and over again until you embrace it. No, I saw the grimace, but that's okay. Because it is a process. So in the midst of our mountains and our valleys, which I'm now going to affectionately call little hills and riversides, there's an important skill that you need to be able to embrace. And it is the idea of taking what is going on in your life and being able to find good things out of it. Now, I do not mean making comparisons and saying, well, the car died, but it could have been worse because we were out in the middle of nowhere. Or the kids are sick, but it's fine because we didn't want to go to that family activity anyway. That's what we call negativity in disguise. We take what we think is good out of it, but we're really just compounding the negative. We're really just saying, well, it could have been worse. Or we're saying, I didn't really want to do that thing anyway. And so we're impounding in our brain this idea of negativity. This is actually a natural part of human nature. I know that's a shocker, but when we were all not living in cities quite like we're living now, and life was a wee bit more dangerous with weird animals and snowstorms and things that could kill you, humanity developed to be very cautious and to look for the bad, because the bad could kill you. And so we now, in life today, still do that. It's a natural part of our evolution. But if we were always looking for the bad, then the bad is all we're ever going to see. And so now that you have written down what those bad things are, and you've now written down the good things, I want to just kind of do this out loud with my own thought that I had going around in my head. So the thought that tends to pop up in my head a lot is, I'm just not good enough. All of my efforts really are not going to get me where I want to go. Nobody's interested. all of my efforts aren't getting me where I want to be. And if that's all that I ever let go on in my head, you give up really fast. And if all you do is look for the evidence that that's what's going to happen, that is all the evidence you are ever going to get and all the evidence you are ever going to find. And so when that mean, nasty thought comes shooting into my head, well, you're just not good enough. That video doesn't have any views because you didn't give the right stuff. Or people don't care about this because it's not actually important to their lives. You're just not good enough. Then eventually I'm just going to roll over in my bed and say, that was a nice dream, I guess I'm not going to do it anymore. But if when that thought pops into my head and I say, the thought goes, you're not good enough, and I say, but I'm learning, then what's the thing that I'm left with? I'm left with, but I'm still learning. It's not about where I am in this moment, it's about where I choose to keep going to. Or, you're not good enough. That's okay. Today is just today. When we are trying something new, when we are trying to expand our knowledge or try a new technique, our brain gives us a status report. And our brain says, you want to do this new thing. You want to get 50 subscribers on YouTube. Well, guess what? You're at 31. Guess you can just go eat worms. Because you're just not there yet. Because our brain is taking stock. It's not being mean to us. It's not being nasty and convoluted. It's just simply saying, you're not there yet. So you think the report your brain just gave you, and you set it on a shelf, and you say, I'm going to go try towards that thing because tomorrow I might very well be at 32. And so for those mean, nasty things on your paper, I want you to think of, partially, this is just a status report saying, yeah, okay, I'm not there yet. Yet is one of the most powerful things that we do to rewrite our brain because it's not an end-sum game. It's not either here or there. You're just saying, okay, I'm not there yet. And it gives your brain the desire and the drive to keep moving forward. And then the last one is, I'm actually going to put that down because I really like that. Yet. Not good enough? I don't believe that. I love who I am, I love where I am at because I know I'm going to be learning something new tomorrow and I know I'm going to apply it, so I'm going to keep trying. So there are tons of things in our life that when we see this negative thing, instead of feeding it and putting more stuff into it, we need to be willing to just say no and try something different. So I have been teasing you with this PowerPoint for the last half an hour. So I will finally show unto you the PowerPoint. And it is 5 steps to changing your mindset, which is what this whole point is about. It's recognizing what's going on inside your head first, and then it's beginning to understand the steps that you need to do to change what's going on inside your head. And the first, did I turn it off? Okay. So, the first step in changing your mindset and in being able to start handling the ups and downs of life with a little bit more grace, hopefully a lot more as time goes on, is first to say what it is that you want. And I'll be teaching you how to do that in a few minutes. And so that actually means that you also have to know what it is that you want.
That's the problem.
You have to know where it is that you're going. There's a couple ways to figure that out, because in order to change your mindset, you need to know who you are, and you need to know the direction that you want to go. So who do you think you are, in the nicest way possible, and where are you going? So what is it that makes you feel alive? What is it that you value and that you want? Because once you figure out those things, then what you say really starts to matter, because you can point your brain at this thing that you want. So one of my challenges that I would give you is to take some time tonight and write down 10 things that you would like to have in your life. Maybe they're already there, but you'd like them in greater amount or abundance. Maybe you've always just told your brain no, and you never tried. So first, write those 10 things down and pick one. Maybe you want someone to buy you an ice cream cone. Whatever it is, just pick something. Maybe you want to go on a trip. Maybe you want to have more quality time with your family. Whatever it is, find that thing that makes you feel alive, that gives you hope, that gives you direction. And then write something about it that you can say out loud. And say, I am a person who has quality time with my family. Say, I am an avid reader. Say, I happen to really love New York. Whatever it is, just say, or if you're going for more quality traits, then say those instead. Whatever it is you're hoping for, whatever it is you're going for, pick those. And then the next step is you have to start thinking about it. You can't just say it every day and then let it kind of float away. You actually have to embrace it and claim it as your own. So here's you. And you know that you want to go over there. So first, you have this little word bubble, because that's where you want to go. So you say it, and then you think about it a lot. That is a really awful tiny star. And after you've been thinking about it, it kind of needs to invade your head a little bit. When you wake up in the morning, that's what you want to think about. When you go to bed at night, that's what you're thinking about. When you have a few minutes washing your hands during the day, that's what you choose to think about. And then you start feeling it. I was watching a TEDx talk just the other day, and she talked about how in order to change your mindset, in order to feel gratitude and not just speak gratitude, first you have to emote. So first you emote, then you exercise, and then you do that thing. So let yourself feel what that would be like. So for me, because I am the most epic mentor ever, that's what I tell myself when I wake up every morning. I am an amazing mentor and friend. People come to me who are ready for mentoring. That's what I say. That's what I tell myself. And so then that's what I think about. I think about how are ways that I can help people? What are new techniques that I can teach them? What are new ways that I can reach out to someone? So you make that just kind of core of what it is that you're thinking about. And then I close my eyes. And I think about what it would be like. Here's my heart, I'm feeling it. And I think about what it would be like to be in front of a room full of people, of caregivers of special needs people who are feeling very burnt out, who are feeling very tired, and don't know where to go. They don't know how to let go of all these emotions they're holding on to. They don't know how to fill their cup. And so I close my eyes and I think about what it would be like to have a room full of people in that situation and be able to teach them 3 things that help them let go of all the stuff they're carrying around, the stress and the worry and the fear, and the 3 things that are going to empower them to be even better caregivers and to love themselves more. And so I close my eyes and I just feel that way. Did you know it's only 16 seconds to convince your subconscious that what you're thinking is real? Like, that's one of the coolest things I've ever heard. So if you can close your eyes and feel something for 16 seconds, your brain then begins believing that it's real. And once it believes that it's real, you open your eyes and your eyes go, but I don't see it. But the more you do that, the more that your mind starts going, okay, well, we got to figure out how to get there because that's real now. That's what we want. That's the direction that we're going. So you feel it, and then you do something about it. So I am going to go out and I'm going to act in the world. I was about to say contact. That sounded really weird. There's a person in my ward who is a caseload coordinator for caregivers of people with special needs. So she's a perfect person for me to go talk to. So I say, hey, I want to teach this class. Who would you have me talk to so that I can arrange this? What are the needs? How do I meet those needs? So I go out and I actually do something about this dream. And then something comes back. I have to choose to receive. So I've done this action to get this goal, and then something happens. And I can either choose to receive it or to reject it. Now, let's say I talk to this person, she goes and she talks to everybody, arranges for this class, and 3 people show up. Well, I can either believe that that was an epic failure, and I can choose to receive failure and never try again, or I can go, hey cool, that's 3 people who knew this that didn't know this before, I'm going to go try again. So then I talk to those 3 people and I invite them to invite 3 people, and then I have 6 people. So in order to change a mindset, we have to feel how good it will be to receive this thing and keep that feeling even if that thing doesn't happen. Seems a little messed up, don't you think?
Voodoo.
What?
Voodoo.
Voodoo. Hope not. So what it is that you have to do is hold on to what the thing feels like that you've closed your eyes and imagined more than what you just had happen. And that's what stops people. That's why people give up. Is because they try this thing expecting that what they just tried is definitely going to happen. Is there no questions asked, that's just what's going to happen. And so then when it doesn't happen, they just stop. And they go, oh look, that's voodoo. That's just some messed up thing because I thought it and it didn't happen, so it failed. The technique failed. I'm never going to do it again, it's a waste of my time. When instead what you have to do is hold on to what you initially wanted, and you keep acting and you keep putting stuff out there until you get closer. And then you start seeing positive feedback. 10 people showed up. 10 people showed up. And then you tried again, 15 people showed up. And then you tried again and you reached your goal of helping 20 people. Because life is these hills and valleys. So I sent this wonderful thing out there, tried really hard, nothing happened. I drop into the pit of despair until I decide that I'm going to try again. Because this thing that I'm holding on to and feeling and wanting is over there and really matters. So how do you do that though? How do you hold on to what you hope for even in the face of complete and utter failure? Because that's what it feels like. Just going to be very open and say that right now. You try for this thing, you really, really want this thing, you have this glorious dream and it felt so wonderful, and it didn't happen. What do you do? How do you cope with that? Well, I was about to erase that board. The first thing that you remember is that it's called self-improvement. It is not called self-improved. It is never, ever, ever, ever in this life past tense. People don't go, oh, I'm going to go out and be self-improved. They say, I'm going to go try and work at self-improvement. We think that it's a zero-sum game. Either you get what you want or you don't. And it is so easy. Me in that closet, people don't love me because I'm only seeing what I think the way that they should love me. I can't go get that thing because I only have 31 subscribers instead of the 60 that I want. Do you know what the biggest robber of joy is? It's comparison. Because everything you get is never good enough because it's not what you expected or it's not what someone else has. And so you look at it and you go, well, I really wanted this goal, I tried really hard and I didn't get it. And so you say, it's okay, I made progress in self-improvement. I made another step, I went a little farther. But we have to give ourselves the room to do that. And we have to give ourselves the room to be positive and to keep trying. And one of the best ways to do that, there are 2 ways to do this. And the 2 ways to do this are I am grateful because and declarations. And I need to pause my video and start again. So I'll be right back.